Welcome, everybody, to another session of Gordon Phinn and our Rescue Zoom. Good to have everybody here, and I'm ready for you to take over now, Gordon.
Okay, thank you, David, and welcome everybody. And if you sense my voice is a little weak, you're right. I have a cold, so apologies if I start coughing. Um, I think I'm well enough to do this, but I may not be quite as focused as normal. I hope you're all doing well and are ready to move into the present moment, the eternal moment where we all actually are, and relax in that present moment with the intention of moving on out of our physical bodies and exploring the areas of the astral in order to meet and perhaps assist souls that are perhaps lost, confused, fearful, as we have been doing in the months coming up to this. You're all pretty, well practiced at this now, and I don't feel you need much more instruction from me, but I will lead you into the state as normal. So please relax where you are, sitting, lying down, and please close your eyes, lower your breathing, allow the memories of yesterday to dissipate and any perhaps concerns or anxieties about tomorrow, let them melt away for the moment and recognize in yourself the ability to move around mentally using your imagination in projecting your etheric and astral bodies. So here we are, ready to move on up out of our bodies and up through the ceiling of the room that you are in. Allow yourself to go up through the ceiling and the roof of the building that you are in and feel yourself floating out in the free air above your community. And after enjoying that for a moment or two, pick an area or a sphere or a level that you think will be interesting and challenging for you today. And if you're a little confused about what to do today, allow your guides to give you a little nudge. And in doing that, I wish you all well. And we will regroup in about 15 minutes and talk about our experiences.
Hello, everybody. It's getting about that time that we need to start coming back. I'll check back with you in a couple of minutes.
Okay, thanks.
I think everybody's pretty much a return now.
Okay. Thank you, David.
Yeah, so I think everybody's pretty much returned now. And I think I'm going to start it out before I forget everything that I saw today.
Okay.
I saw a young man that was a climber, a cliff climber. There's a bunch of them out there, and there's different areas that they climb. A lot of it's in California, and they've got different goals that they have to make. And this guy was one of them. He was 32 years old. I got a name. His name was Scott, and he was from New Zealand. I'm not sure if where he was climbing, if it was in the United States or New Zealand, but I saw a picture of him climbing. And his life was, he was obsessed with climbing. And he wasn't the best in the world. He was trying to make a name for himself and get a sponsor so that he could keep doing it. I mean, there's got to be some kind of source of income to keep you going to do these things, and that's what he needed. And so he started taking more and more chances to get his name, and then he fell, and he died that way. He took too many chances, and I talked to him, and he said that he didn't complete his crossover because he let so many people down. He went to his funeral, and everybody, and he saw how sad he made everybody. His parents, he had a sister, and basically he was in a state of guilt for what he had done, being selfish. He thought he was selfish for that. He kept trying to get these goals of being the best, and it didn't work out. He had therapy, and they told him everybody has challenges, and this was one of the challenges that you may have signed up for. It was hard, and so now, but there's so much out there that's so much better. And Scott was finally convinced. Yeah, okay, I think I'll do it. And so my little experience concluded with a bunch of, there was like a climbing club over there on the afterlife of all these other people that have died slipping and all that. And so a bunch of them, he went with them and completed his crossing. That was mine.
Thank you.
Sure.
Interesting. Guilt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about you, Adrian?
The guy I dealt with was suffering from a fair bit of guilt too.
Okay.
Hi,
Well,
everyone.
When we started the meditation, as you can tell, I'm on the edge. Uh,
So can I go?
sorry, there was distortion there. Who's talking?
Adrian.
Yeah. Yeah, Adrian, Gordon, I'd asked him to go next. So,
Okay,
Okay,
I'll
that's
start.
fine. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll start. So I met a person, a guy, maybe in his 20s, early 30s, and he was missing a hand. Uh, maybe two. I couldn't see clearly, but I think he was missing at least one hand. No, not just hand, arm, the entire arm. So I introduced myself and asked if I can help him. And he was just confused, not understanding the situation. And I didn't ask what happened. I just told that I understand that the situation he's in is confusing, but there is a solution. There is a way to go forward. If he please can come with me, and he agreed. So I intended to go, to an afterlife reception center or something like that, and we were there very, very quickly. Like it didn't take walking, like just whoosh, and we were there. And the person who was there was already familiar with the situation. I didn't need to explain anything. So they started talking, and I felt my job is done because they were talking, so that should be good enough.
very
So
good.
that was quick. So I even wondered if I did anything wrong. Like, but why should it be more difficult if it's enough? So after that, I called my guide, and today I didn't get much, visuals or any message. I felt a presence, and I was just talking to him, like I'm here. I'm willing to build relationship, to act on guidance, and for now just be with him,
Mhm.
even if not much transpires. And that was the rest of it.
I think it's good to get an easy one every once in a while.
Yeah. I think once we can get the attention and some cooperation, then it's from there. It's quick. Like
Yeah.
I could have asked questions, but I thought it's unnecessary because the main point is to get him together with someone who is equipped to help him.
Hmm. Well, pretty interesting that the guy only had one arm. I wonder if that had something to do with his death or.
Maybe.
But the important point is you got him to move on. So, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I had some difficulty in my personal life recently. My mother was hospitalized. She
Hmm.
was in the hospital for some time. She's back home, but she cannot walk anymore. Like now
Wow.
she's bedridden and chair ridden, which is a new
Oh,
situation.
oh no.
So that's I was missing last time because of
Hmm.
this.
Are you the main caretaker, or have you got someone there helping you?
Well, main, not really, but now I will have to get some help in because I cannot deal with this alone anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot for just one person to take care of. Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty good that you're doing it. I mean, just off the side here, I'm a hospice volunteer, Adrian, and so I see
Mhm.
this a lot. I go visit mostly men that are getting towards the end, and the wife, usually it's a wife by herself trying to take care of the
Mhm.
spouse. And man, it is really, really difficult from what I can see. So kudos to you for taking it on.
Well, thanks. Yeah, sometimes I think if I would be in this situation, if I would want to live like that, like for me personally, I would prefer to go than
Mhm.
to,
Yeah,
but maybe it can be different from person to person.
that's exactly right. Well, hang in there. Keep it up, Adrian.
Thank you.
Gordon, did you want to go back on again?
Oh, it's okay if somebody else wants to go first. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, Gordon has a bad cold. You can tell, but he's still hanging in there.
Yeah, that's part of my story too. When we started the meditation, I couldn't focus, and then I had a sneezing fit. So I ran into the other room and had a sneezing fit and came back. And when I sat down, just thinking, oh, I can't possibly do anything now, a guide spoke to me and said, Gord, we need you with something here. Come on along. So this guy took me to a car accident, pretty bad one. Car was pretty smashed up. I think the guy was crushed inside of it. And I'm not sure if he knew he was dead. It's hard to say, but his primary emotion was guilt, which I noticed you mentioned, David.
Yeah.
And he was guilty about how he'd messed up his life, and he was sort of, I've made a real mess of things. I need to go back and fix things up. And I kept trying to tell him that from this position you can't go back and fix things up, but he wouldn't listen to me. And so this overriding guilt and this bit of a conversation back and forth. At first, I don't think he quite recognized who I was or what I was there for, and didn't really accept it. But the overriding thing was this guilt for how he'd messed up his life without actually telling me what he'd done.
Mm-hmm.
I got this image of a broken marriage, a divorce coming up, and a legal battle that might result in the home being the value of the home being split.
Yeah.
And but that hadn't happened, but he could see it coming, and it looked as though the a child or the children would be staying with the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his bad behavior that had caused it, he seemed to think. But again, he was obsessed with guilt. And our time was going on, and I thought, oh, I'm never going to get this sorted out in the time period that we've got. And then he seemed to want to go visit a friend, and he seemed to have the energy to do that. So I just sort of followed him as he went, and found himself in the house or the apartment of a friend. And of course, I should have guessed. The friend was snorting coke, or what he thought was coke.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what this guy liked to do a lot, and it's wasted a good part of his life doing that. Money, jobs, whatever. And he just thought, oh, if I could just get a little bit of respite from this horrible accident by getting high, I can cope with it better.
Jeez.
That's the way they think,
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't guess that was the issue, but it was. So there's two or three guys sitting around snorting coke, and of course I see now why the whole thing's been set up. There's probably some fentanyl in with the coke, and somebody has a heart attack and dies right there.
Yeah.
And not the guy that I brought there, but no, he sort of wanted to go himself, and I sort of tagged along, wondering what was going to happen. And so very quickly, without any thought, he goes into the body of the guy that just died,
Yeah.
and he's out in the room floating around, and he stays there for maybe 5 minutes or so. And I'm thinking again about our time sequencing. And I thought, I'm never going to get this sorted out by the time our time is up. But a voice says to me, Gord, you know how to advance time. You've done this before in other retrievals. Just move forward about 10 minutes and the guy will be back out of the body again. And sure enough, I exercised that option. Time goes by just in a flash. And
Mhm.
then the guy that snuck into the other guy's dead body to get a bit of the high gets ejected back out. And he sees the guy who's actually just died from what we assume is fentanyl. And they greet each other like, "Oh my God, it's you," and what happened, and that sort of a thing. And then because there's two of them there, somehow I seem to be able to convince them to go to a reception center, although I don't call it that.
Mhm.
And I said, it's a better place for people like you. So we wind up. You're gonna love this. We wind up at a sort of a highway side motel,
Mhm.
a fairly scruffy, and I think it's been set up so that dope heads can feel comfortable there because they spend a lot of time in places like that doing drugs. So it wasn't too fancy. And it
Yeah.
wasn't falling down, but at the same time I'd seen better days, right? You gotta love the spirit guides. They sure know how to set things up for people so they're comfortable. And I mean, this is the sort of place that you and I wouldn't even think would just drive right by, right?
Mhm.
No matter how
Yeah.
desperate we're for a coffee, we'd never stop in. But they're like, oh yeah, this is cool. So I leave them there, and they're happy, and I know what's going to happen. And I come, and then David says, okay, we're time's up. So I'm breathing a sigh of relief that I got all this done in the time I never thought I would.
Mhm.
So there's a funny story for you. I think the
Yeah.
guy set this up so that this whole little drama would happen, and it would kind of only happen if I sort of was a little bit of a push on the guy in the car accident, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
without really knowing what was going on. I had no prior conception of this. I was sort of just trying to do the thing that we normally do.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So was that like a reception center that they were at the end that you when you got
Yeah, I
done?
mean, like I said, they, there's all kinds of little reception centers all over the place. I mean, obviously, a lot of them are fairly more conventional and a kind of place that any fairly normal person would want to go to. But there's little down at heel scruffy ones for
Mhm.
people in that area of life because that's kind of where they wouldn't feel comfortable in a fancy place.
Yeah. So you started out with one, and then
Yeah,
you ended up with two that were both drug addicts,
that is
right?
that is correct. And
Yeah.
I had no idea that the second guy was going to die. But of course, we read about this all the time. People snort coke and there's fentanyl in it, and then they're 5 minutes later they're dead,
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty unique.
isn't it? Though, whoa! And here's me trying not to sneeze and cough the whole time.
Yeah, really. You did it though. You completed it.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I hope you are.
Yeah, I am.
Anyway, that's my turn. Someone else.
It was, yeah, thanks. Really cool.
And I was struck, David, by this whole guilt thing. You started talking about guilt.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
first thing with this guy in the car accident is, oh man, I really messed
Yeah.
things up. And he was overridden with guilt.
Hmm. Which is very much the same. That there was a whole theme of mine too.
Yeah.
It was yeah, that drove him. That's why he got stuck. Maybe both of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Legitimate thing. Okay. Should I call on somebody or someone want to come forward? How about you, Larice?
Marga's got her hand up.
That's okay. Go with
Oh,
Larice first, and then I'll
okay.
go
No,
Okay.
after.
I
How's that?
should go last because I can get long-winded.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I didn't see the hand up, but you're exactly right. Now I see it. Okay, Margot, go ahead.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry. Thank you. As soon as I came up through the roof, I noticed there was an angel on either side of me, and they were hurrying me up. And they said, "Come on, we need your help. Hurry, hurry, hurry!" And I went, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." So when I got to my place, which is usually just a fog. It's usually just in a fog or a cloud or something like that. I was asking if anyone needed any help. And I was flooded with a large group of people. Some were old, some were young. Now I knew who these people were. I asked them to come, and I know who they were. They were the people from the beach.
Oh, Australia?
Yeah, having a Hanukkah session or on the
Mm-hmm.
beach when this happened. But the funny thing is, I think there were only 15 people that had died, which to me is kind of a small group. And there were a lot of people in this one, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. So I asked them to come and gather around and listen to what I had to say. This was more of an educational thing, I think, for them, because I said, you've all passed from the beach, from the earth into a new dimension. I said, don't be afraid. You're all fine. There was a glowing light around each of them. I said, you cannot go back. You can't go back, but rest assured you will see and be with your families again soon. And I said, and in this experience, let them feel yourself around them. In other words, you can go to all the people that will you can go to your family, back to your family who are grieving, missing you, and you can beam love to them, and they will feel you around them, and this will help them keep them calm because they're going through a lot of distress right now, a lot of angst, very upset. I said, for they're troubled and they're missing you a lot, and this is very fresh for them. It's fresh for you. Um, so I asked the angels if they would um, bathe all these people that were listening to me, if they would bathe them with love. And then I said, go with these angels. They will guide you and answer any of the questions that you have. Now, as an afterthought, not one person in that crowd wanted an explanation of why they were there. They were silent. This crowd was silent in the beginning and silent in the end as the angels led them through the portal. Now I'm sure a lot of them were still in shock from what had happened, so they didn't basically even know where they were. That was my feeling anyway from this. Um, anyway, that was mine. Thank you.
Mm.
Oops, wrong one.
Well, it makes sense that you would have that because of that horrible thing that happened. So you had a group one today.
Yeah, I had a group one, but there were more than 15 people there. So the
Mm-hmm.
only thing I could think of afterwards is I know that there were some that were badly injured. Was there
Mm-hmm.
about 29? I don't know the number. Was there 29 or some that were injured, and maybe they succumbed to their injuries, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
they had joined the group. I don't know, but it was a very, very large group.
So you see how important it is what we're doing?
Hmm.
Think of all those people that now are going to move forward.
Yeah, I hope so.
I guess we'll really get the answer when we go into the afterlife, is this all really happening or not?
Yeah. Are we gonna meet any of them? Who knows?
Yeah. Or are we going
Yeah.
to be afterlife helpers? And there'll
I
be people
I
replacing us.
I think we are going to be doing that, David. I think that's one of the reasons this group is here because do you remember on one of my sessions? I think it was this one. I don't think it was in Georgia's where I actually had a Palladian come to
Mm-hmm.
me and he said, we're going to need your help because there's going to be a lot. Oh, it was on a Zoom. It was on a different
Mm-hmm.
Zoom.
I see.
And he said, we're going to need your help because there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to make it through this transition. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people dying. Um, so I thought then that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I really think there's a bigger purpose to this group than
Mm-hmm.
what we think.
Yeah, it could be.
I just kind of get the feeling that when we do, when it's our turn, this work is gonna continue by us on the other side, working
Oh.
with, and working with people that are alive that are doing what we do now in conjunction. Both of us,
Mm.
they help us over there. There's helpers over there too that are
Yes.
involved in the stuff.
Oh, good.
And we may do it in our sleep now.
Yeah, we may already do it in our sleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Yes, I hope so. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I could speak now.
Yes. Okay. Very good, Priscilla.
So I'm Vanilla Light here.
You're what now?
Vanilla Light.
Vanilla?
I'm the light rescue.
Okay.
I'm not even sure I had a rescue.
Oh, okay.
But
Let's hear what you
I'm
got.
learning, and I really appreciate what you folks are doing, and that's why I keep coming.
Great.
So this is what happened to me. First of all, I went up a spiral staircase to get out of my house. Now that was new. Spiral staircase got me out of my house. And then I looked around and I guess my horse showed up because nobody else did. And then we flew up into the dark sky. Now it's not dark out, so I don't know. We found some dark sky someplace, and we were flying around up there in the stars, looking at the stars in the dark. And ultimately, we ended up coming down to ground in the Swiss Alps.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a ski lodge, a small ski cabin. And everything was lush and green. And I talked to people, and then I went down to the creek, and I talked to people, and they said, we're really worried because there should be snow on the ground. Where's our snow? We're really worried. We've got water right now in the creek, but we depend upon the snowpack. We're worried. Can you help? So my horse and I flew way up in the sky, found some clouds, corralled up a bunch of clouds, turned them into a blizzard, and got it snowing. So we got a nice snowfall going, and then we went above those clouds. You can look down and see clouds. So they were getting a nice snowfall, and we made sure there was a good amount of snow going to happen. And then we returned.
That's fine.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Everybody's got their different ways.
Now,
Yeah,
at
that's
one point, before we really got started, I found myself at a stable that used to be in my neighborhood when I was growing up. It was several blocks away from my house. And my horse was able to eat found some straw to eat. I thought I might run into a neighborhood friend, a childhood friend who's just recently died. I thought I might run into her. But no sign of her.
Mm-hmm.
So then we went about our business. And there didn't seem to be anything going on at the stables except to eat. And then we took off. But anyway.
You got a connection. Something happened there. Definitely.
Anytime I see photographs of the Swiss Alps or of Sweden, I think, see, I was in the army. I was in the service in the middle 70s, in the 1970s, and I was in Europe and I traveled around those places and I saw the snow. You don't see that snow anymore in photographs. It's quite alarming.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Okay.
Well-
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Priscilla, that's the first time I've heard a story like that. Congratulations. Creating snow. Wonderful stuff.
then we got out of it by flying above it.
Yeah, right.
Thanks
You're
for
you're a lot more knowledgeable than you think you are, Priscilla.
Luis, would you like to take over now? Or take your turn.
Okay. After I floated up above my building, nothing in particular happened and nobody met me. So I kind of drifted around there. And then I decided to go sort of into the misty place because I hadn't been there in a while. And I thought, well, surely I'll find somebody there because a lot of them, that's where they congregate. And so I went there into the mist, and then one of my guides did show up. It wasn't Dorothea; it's another one that I've known since I was a child, and you might be able to categorize her as my imaginary friend almost. But anyway, she took me somewhere and showed me this. Well, it was like a little bubble or a little capsule. And I said, what's this? And she said, there's somebody in there. And I said, I don't really want to intrude on them or anything, but they probably shouldn't really be there. I mean, what do you suggest I do? And she said, well, see if you can get their attention. So I kind of, called out, and you couldn't exactly knock on it. It was like not that hard. So finally this person, they came and I said, I'd like to help you. Is it okay if I come in? And they kind of paused and then they agreed. Yeah, I guess so. So I came in and I saw, it's hard to describe this because the person was, they could change form, but inside there, they were kind of manifesting as a baby. And they were in there with their parents who were grieving. And I said, why are you here with them? And they said, well, I couldn't, I need to stay with them. They're so much in grief and I feel terrible. And I said, well, what happened? And they said, I don't know exactly. So I asked more questions to try to find out what was going on. And I finally got the idea that they had been like stillborn. And they never really made it out. I mean, the body might have, but the soul was already not able to stay in the body. But they felt terrible about it for the sake of their parents who were grieving. And I said, I don't think that you should stay here because we can go find your parents and you can comfort them somewhere else. And they thought about it because I don't think this had been recent. They just had their own little like scenario going on inside this capsule. And so I talked to them for a while and tried to point out how futile it was gently because, they were really struggling and trying as hard as they could. And I said, it's not your fault. It's really not, but they can't see you. They don't even know you're there. And they said, well, yeah, I guess you might be right because I've tried everything and they just don't, they're just crying and, they can't see me and they can't hear me. So after I got it made clear that they were it wasn't gonna work that way. They agreed to come with me. And this one was male. And then when he came out, the capsule collapsed and it didn't exist anymore. And then he realized, oh my gosh, because he had sort of been maintaining this on his own. And so then we went around and we rounded up some more of those. There existed more of those people who were stillborn or miscarried. One or two who were they made it out, but they didn't live very long after that. And so those people were babies. I mean, they could conceive of themselves as babies, but the other ones weren't sure who they were because they never had that experience in that baby's body. So we were rounding them up, and I was telling them that I could help them find their families again and comfort them, and telling them that this wasn't your fault, and I know you didn't cause this. And one or two of them thought they had, because they had decided that, no, I really want to do this at the very last minute, and they did feel guilty about that, and I can understand why. So we rounded them all up, and as I called for a team of nurses, and people who could, carry the babies, and we rounded up everybody else, and then we took them. I took them to the reception area, and when you get involved in this kind of stuff, usually you kind of call ahead of time, and then they know what kind of situation you're in and who you're basically going to bring back. So they had it all set up for them. They had parents for the babies, and they had even parents for the ones who didn't quite make it out, but they just wanted to comfort their parents and let them know that they were okay and they loved them. And so all that stuff started happening. And so I just kind of retreated, melted away, and they were really busy. So I don't think they even noticed I left.
Very interesting, Larisse. That's the first time I've heard of something like that before. Capsule, and also the stillborns. I always wondered about them when I heard it.
Yeah, I have too. And so it was very instructional, or, educational.
Yeah.
I don't suppose that they all do that, but a lot of them apparently do, because they feel like they should have been able to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have parents that are really grieve and get upset, then they feel obligated. They can't move on.
So my question to you is, when you were talking about the capsule in the beginning, was there more than one person in there? I mean, were these? I thought you said two, maybe.
Well, sometimes there were a couple of sets of twins.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few situations where one of the twins actually had managed to stay on the earth and the other one didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And those had a lot of trouble, because they felt, like they should have been able to and they couldn't. But no, each capsule or bubble had its own. But there were a lot of, my guide there were a lot of bubbles. Mm-hmm. In different places.
Yeah.
We were just focused on those, because they had their own little scenario in there. Like, they had their grieving parents and everything. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't let go of that.
So my question to you is, when a dream like this, are you seeing like a motion picture? How is this coming to you?
It's hard to describe. I guess you could call it a motion picture. I don't actually know much about those. Mm-hmm. I would describe it more like, from my personal experience, I would describe it more like if I was reading a book about it. Mm-hmm. Because you have all the information. You have all the details, all the information, and it unfolds before you, but you're sort of in it. Mm-hmm. At the same time. You know what I mean? Like when you're reading a really interesting book and you just get carried away by it.
Right.
And I suppose motion pictures are like that too. Mm-hmm. So it's probably the same thing, but it unfolds and a lot of times when I'm doing this, I have more information about things than I do in my normal physical life.
Yeah.
Because it's my mind's eye. So I have more information than I normally would.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's pretty clear because when I had mine today, I just get parts of it and they just all seem to fit together when I'm done having it.
Well, for a while, I didn't even know how to concentrate long enough to let things unfold. I had to learn how to do that. And I would sort of go in and out, and but now now it's pretty steady.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, there's a lot to that. Pretty detailed.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
sure.
Yeah, thanks, Larice.
Hmm.
Yeah, how you holding up there, Gordon?
Trying not to cough and sneeze. So
Okay. I'll tell you, everybody, that next time, and everybody's going to get like an email from me, and it's going to be in the Friday afternoon report. Usually we meet on the 1st and the 3rd Wednesdays. In January, we're not going to meet on the first week. We're going to meet on the 2nd, which is going to be January 14th, because I'm going to be out of town on the first week. So you'll all be reminded again. I'm just telling you right now. I'll remind everybody a couple times. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to talk about today or say? Any more comments?
You are muted, Margaret.
They still there?
sorry, what was that?
No, Margaret. You think you're still muted, isn't she?
We
You're still
still can't
muted.
hear you.
Oh, no. Something happened again to your thing. Yeah, you're muted. We still can't hear you, Margaret.
She's not muted, but we cannot hear her.
Oh, I
Anyway.
see. Okay, yeah, it had some before. It's happened before with her computer. She wants to check that you in the chat. It's okay. Oh, oh, thank you very much. And she says, yeah, my birthday's on Friday.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday
Yeah, thanks.
Happy birthday to
to
you.
you.
Okay, thanks. Yep, I've going out with some friends, and I got a birthday cake. Dana, my wife, already made it for me, so I'm having a good one. But thank you, everybody, and we'll see you. Stanley, you can turn the recording off now. Thanks.